Instead of chasing the money, chase the version of you that deserves the money. The worst case scenario, what everyone's afraid of in terms of risk, isn't really that bad. You know, I started a business, everyone knew that I failed. Me, myself, knew that I'd failed, I'd lost money. Like, some people probably laughed at me, but what? I just carried on working, started the next business idea.
I lost money the week before, and then the week after, I made the most amount of money I've ever made in my life.
And a lot of my mates are 23, 24, just coming out of university, and they have no idea where their life's going, because all they've done is gone with the crowd their entire life. They've done what everyone else has told them to do, and now they're in a situation where it's like, fuck, like I'm an adult now. Like, I've got bills to pay, I've got trips that I want to go on, I've got weddings that I need to go to, you know, I've got people that I want to see, and it's like, all that costs money. If you're a guy, you can't be chasing women because they've got bread. And I just came to the realization, I don't give a fuck. You could be making $1 million a month, but you're selling yourself. Like, you're selling yourself. Like, I hate to throw shade, but that industry deserves shade, because there's a million ways to make money online nowadays for you to not have to post pictures like that online.
In any industry, whatever it is, to actually achieve what you want to achieve, all you need to do is...
When you're sat in business class, you feel better than when you're sat in economy. When you're sat in a Bentley, you feel better than when you're sat in a Clio. When you're sat at Tattoo or Nobu, you feel better than when you're sat at Spoons. Above all, like, the thing that, like, still carries with me to today is probably helping my dad out. I think my biggest regret is probably...
Yes, people, so welcome back to the second episode of Unfiltered Entrepreneurship. Today, we are with a special guest, Money Coach Curtis, who made £100,000 last month, so I'm excited to taproot his brain today. So, like, the first question I kind of wanted to roll into is, the person that you are right now and the person you used to be, what would you say is the difference and how you've actually got from that to now?
I think the main difference, and it's quite a vague question, because obviously there's a lot of contributing factors, but I think the main difference is probably just my way of thinking as a whole, and into that falls into habits, it falls into mentality. In terms of one of the biggest factors for me is probably going from someone that played victim mentality all throughout growing up, always asking, like, why is this happening, or almost as well, like, finding comfort in being miserable in a way, which sounds like so mad to say, you know, as like someone where it's like, now, like, I consider myself like a really happy person, but it was almost like I was looking for any excuse to almost like be sad, or like to not be happy, to not be confident. And I think that's probably like one of the main shifts, and obviously, like, through that has come through, like, getting in better shape, hitting the gym, sticking to my word, building confidence through that, helping other people, building up real value myself, like achieving X, Y, and Z goals in terms of income to really shift, like, my self-image. But there's a lot of things that have changed. I think it definitely is way of thinking and environment as well, and they sort of like cross over in a way, because it's like my way of thinking led me out of certain rooms, my way of thinking put me in certain rooms, and it's like then from there it's the butterfly effect. You know, like, you never know, like, what one conversation's going to do for you, you never know what one person's going to do for you. And I think for me, just being so, like, delusional but so optimistic and so obsessed with everything that I wanted to happen, it made me give up certain things, you know, like drinking all the time, like smoking weed all the time. It was like, this isn't, you know, it was a very simple question for me, of almost like pen and paper, you know, like some people do, like, if they're debating splitting with a girlfriend, they'll write pros and cons. For me, it was like very simple, like 2 columns of what's the smart version of me doing and what's like the current version of me doing, you know, and that smart version of me is making the money that I want to make, it's living the life that I want to live. And then it's like, when you start writing it down, it's like, plain and simple, is that version of me that's driving that car, living that house, travelling to those countries, is he doing this with his time? No. So it's a case then, it's like, well, it's not going to serve me now. You know, I'm not saying like, I don't drink anymore, I don't do the, because I do, but as a celebration. You know, I think most people they're out every weekend celebrating nothing. They're doing it out of habit, they're doing it out of, like, almost like depression in a way of escaping, where it's like, for me now, like, if I am going to drink, if I'm going to party, it's coming off the back of something, you know. It's like, it's being away with the boys, it's being at a business event, it's celebrating a milestone. And I think the main thing for me has been shifting those habits that was ultimately holding me back to elevate me to where I am now. 100%.
I mean, for like the people that I've worked with, I feel like it's a very similar thing. You have to walk people through the process of changing their inner person and the people, what they believe in right now, because as we both know, when you start out, what you believe in is not the right way, because if it was, then you would be in a better position. So shifting that way of thinking, shifting the people you're surrounding yourself with, is what's going to actually elevate you and get you, like it's already done with you, to the position you want to be in now. When I was speaking with one of my friends yesterday about like how he needs to change certain things. So like you said, going out every weekend, celebrating nothing. these things can't be happening if you want to elevate and grow, because I mean not the point of life, but a lot of people should be doing, which they're not doing, is trying to chase that growth. Like people chase money, people chase women, whatever else it is, but growth is going to lead you to both of them things and more, and way more of it in every other like way, in my opinion. But yeah, like you kind of give a bit of a brief on the thing that changed your mindset and like what position you're in now. But what would you say you do for a living? Like, you know, they don't really know what you actually do for a living, and what, like, you know, what income streams do you have, etc.
Yep. So, I mean, like now I'm 23. I've been a digital entrepreneur for 5 years now. And the first business I ever started, like, completely failed. At that point, I was like 18, 19 in university. It was during COVID. And I seen this guy online that was running like an online sweets business. And I thought, like, he was doing down in Oxford. And I thought, obviously I live up north, so I'm going to try that. Gave it a go for a few weeks. Eventually ran out of money. I had no idea. I literally just winged it. And I mean, that was ultimately a blessing, to be fair. Like, failing with a business and then going back almost to like square one. I don't know, it made me realise that the worst case scenario, what everyone's afraid of in terms of risk, isn't really that bad. You know, I started a business, everyone knew that I failed. Me, myself, knew that I'd failed, I'd lost money. Like, some people probably laughed at me, but what? I just carried on working, started the next business idea. So over the last 5 years, it's like I've trialed pretty much every side hustle under the sun. You know, whether that was through like AI marketing, which is just like a mad trend at the minute, going down like the e-commerce route through drop shipping, through Amazon FBA, to then now the last like 2-3 years really finding my purpose and what it is that I like to do, and what I believe I can do for the next, like, you know, like 10-20 years is investing and affiliate marketing. You know, a lot of people that I've worked with over the last couple of years, whether it's through agencies, whether it's through networking, affiliate marketing to me is the best business models we're getting into right now. Like, yeah, I can sit and talk about how good trading is, how good investing is, but let's be real, like, most people are skeptical about that. But with affiliate marketing, you can build true, I don't like using the term residual or like passive income, because nothing really is, but you can almost build true passive income to the point where it's like, I'm in a situation now where it's like every day I'm getting paid X amount from work that I did 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like very few business models, income streams provide you with that opportunity. So yeah, like over the last couple of years, like through these different like niches, these different industries, I've been able to like coach people, build a community of like my own, which obviously like we're a part of, we run together. And yeah, like it's just incredible. But as I say, it's like I've tried so many different things. And it wasn't a case ever of like shiny object syndrome where I did one thing and it was straight on to the next. I did one thing and pretty much pushed myself to the max of, I know for definite that this can work for me, or I know for definite that this doesn't suit me. And then, you know, once that was there, if it didn't work, okay, what's the next thing? Where's the next mentor? What's the next like course I can buy to get myself educated?
Yeah, like always elevating yourself. There's literally like, I mean, from our mentors that we both like kind of use in a way, like Dan Harley, these people always say, you know, you never just stop growing. Like, chase that mentorship, chase them the new like income, or being able to learn a different skill or whatever it is. Being able to just, you know, like direct into different places is definitely one of the things that everyone should be doing. But yeah, I mean, like with that whole thing of affiliate, I feel like it is definitely a good industry to be a part of. And the one thing that is going to generate you money in affiliate is content. Like, content is a big game right now. Like, a lot of people know how to get views, but then don't know how to monetize it. And that's the way to monetize it in most, you know, industries, whether it's, you can affiliate in pretty much any industry anyway, but being able to monetize it is the skill to earn the money, because getting views is not the easy, well, it's kind of the easy part, but then monetizing it is the bit that most people don't know how to do. So that's why I feel like we have such a good business model in all our businesses, with like being able to generate an income from it through content. Content's great. Like, content's going to allow you to access so many more people. I mean, like these podcasts, like Reels, Instagram, whatever else it is, doing content, I feel like it's a game changer, really. But obviously now, you know what I mean, like we know what you do for a living, what like kind of the mindset shifts you had, and then going into that, like your achievement, what would you say is your biggest achievement so far in your like kind of journey?
It's a tough question, because there's a lot, there's like a big spectrum in terms of, you've got selfish things, you've got materialistic things, you've got things that I've done for other people. I'd say above all, like the thing that like still carries with me to today is probably helping my dad out. And like obviously like anyone that's like follows me on social media, like you might have seen like the video, it's like for that, like for a video of me helping my dad out to go viral, like that was brilliant, because it's like that's documented forever now. So it's like even now where it's like I look back and let's say I'm having a bad day with work, like whatever, or it's like things aren't going my way for a month, like whatever, like the natural setbacks, it's like I can always look back and be like, yeah, I actually did that. But the thing is, it's like something I've been thinking a lot recently is the best phase of like an entrepreneur, like the best part of the journey is the come up phase, you know, the first like year, 2 years, where it's like not everything's going your way, but you're starting to get a taste of like the life you can live. Because it's like, again, like when you think of like what my biggest achievements are, it's like I can say things like, oh, like flying on a private jet, like making X amount in a month, but at the end of the day it's like that doesn't make me feel any type of way now. Like, yeah, I can say, oh, I've done it, and some people might be like, oh, what, like you've done that. But then at the same time, it's like getting to experience all those things for the first time is truly incredible. You know, so it's like yourself going on to fly business class for the first time, being able to stay at your favourite, like a 5-star hotel that like most people can't afford, making 20k a month. Like all those things are huge achievements. But then I think the one real thing that will always stand out for everyone is when they eventually give back to, whether it's the dad, to the girlfriend, to the mum, like setting up like the kids, like whatever it is. I think that's something that like no one can take away from you, and like no one can spout the bullshit they spout about private jets, supercars, where it's like, oh, it's materialistic, oh, it's rented. Like, bro, I had a guy telling me a couple of weeks ago that the private jet I went on was a studio. Like, he was saying it to me seriously, and I thought he was joking. So he was like, oh, it was a studio, where? I was like, yeah, it's a studio, mate. And he was like, oh, I knew it. And I was like, you being serious? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, nah, bro. I was like,
broke now.
I was like, cost me a fortune, that. But mate, it's like, that goes for like same with supercars. You know, you rent a supercar for a few days, everyone says, oh, it's a rental. And it's like, still costs money. You know, people say, oh, it's a rental as if you're like, it's free, or as if they're paying you to do it.
But yeah, I mean, with the kind of achievement side, I agree with you. I agree with you with the actual helping other people. That's always the biggest thing for me. You can achieve all these, you know, nice cars, nice watches, nice places, which I've yet to go and really fulfill myself. But I mean, for me, the first thing I wanted to do, which is like this month has been my best month inside of my journey, and I'm 10 months in, and it's been a great month. There's no need to like drop an income claim, but yeah, I mean, I feel very comfortable, and now I'm able to give people in my family opportunities that have always believed in me the whole way. Like I'm glad, I'm blessed that I've got people by my side that are always pushing me to like fulfill my potential. And with the whole achievements, yeah, like being able to literally pay for my full family to go on holiday next week, that was one of my biggest achievements, like coming from my side. And yeah, like I feel like that's the best feeling I've had, being able to do that. Like, I know the other things are going to be great, but you know, once you start making that much money, I kind of feel like, I mean, you could probably say yourself, but you get to that position where you've got so much money, it's like you're used to that. So you're used to that lifestyle. That's like your floor in a way. So,
yeah, that's why I'd say like the best phase is the come up, because you're experiencing everything for the first time, and it feels the way you'd imagine. You know, like a lot of people say like, oh, you're gonna get to where you want, like you're gonna get to the top, like to the top, and it's not gonna feel as good. Like it does, but eventually it does fade. Like I remember sitting in business class for the first time. I remember sitting on I can remember the way I felt, like so clearly and so vividly, and it is incredible. But then it's like anything, you know, it's like if you've been with a girl for 5 years compared to if you've been with a girl for 2 months, naturally it's not as exciting. You know, obviously it's different, but then it's the same with if you've driven a Ferrari 100 times compared to that first time. Lower familiarity kicks in. You know, it's like the value of something before you have it is like way up here. The value of something once you've got it is down here. And then the value of it once you've lost it is higher than it's ever been.
Yeah, not 100%. Going off the back of that, we'll go get a bit deep, a bit like, you know, asking personal questions. But what would you say is your biggest regret in this space that maybe you wish you didn't do, or if you don't live with regrets, kind of something that you feel like held you back maybe?
I think my biggest regret is probably not buying into the long-term vision sooner, in terms of trying to rush the process repetitively until I learned like very harshly that I couldn't afford to do that anymore. You know, in terms of like trading especially is just a perfect like analogy of it really, where it's like I was trying to make X amount for so long with trading, on an account that was way too small for it, and that caused me to blow my accounts over and over again because I was so obsessed. And it's like when you really deep it, it's like, what is the need to rush it? Obviously, it's like certain times there's pressure where it's like you need to get out of debt or you want to do this for these people. But the reality is most of the time it's ego and it's greed that's wanting to rush the process. Yeah. And when I look back now, I can probably sit there and say it was probably wanting to be able to post on social media that I've made this much like this quickly, or I've done this in this time frame. And it was like, it was never truly for me to say, oh, I've done this. It was always for other people or to prove other people wrong. And I think it was like the moment where I really just allowed myself to sit back, to stack money, to allow the compound process to happen, where then like it happened, you know. But it's like the reality is like for most traders, they will blow accounts week in, week out, month in, month out without making any progress because they're so wrapped up in this idea that they need to make this amount of money. Whereas if they just took the foot off the gas for 3 months, like imagine, right, every month they'll put 2k into an account, blow it because they're trying to make 5k, 10k. Yeah. They do that again for 3 months. If they'd just stuck out for 2% a week, 5% a month, the end of that 3 months they'd have 6 grand on top of whatever they've compounded.
Yeah.
But most people instead are the opposite, where they're down 6 grand because they're just obsessed with this idea of making this amount of money to post it on social media, to send to their friend, to take a withdrawal, to buy some fucking bullshit designer clothes. Like that's the reality for most people.
Yeah, that's the power of mentorship.
Yeah.
Because like I'm grateful for my mentorship. Obviously you helped me on my journey so far, and that's why I'm glad to have you there to explain why I don't do this, you know what I mean? And if you're not, like, I mean, for the people that are starting out, like, you need to be coachable too, because if you're not coachable, how is your mentor going to be able to lead you through the ups and downs they had? Because at the start, I let the ego get to me of not listening to mentors and thinking that I knew better, and I quickly found out that I was wrong. You very, very quickly find out. All you need to do, it's so simple, like to actually become successful, to become in any industry, whatever it is, to actually achieve what you want to achieve, all you need to do is find someone that's in the position that you want to be in and copy them. Literally ask them questions, take their advice, do it, learn along the way. There's obviously ups and downs. That's the thing I kind of wanted to touch on as well with the entrepreneurship journey. Like this whole podcast obviously is revolved around that. It's not easy. It's at the start especially, but it's worth it in the end. I bet you can say that for yourself. Like it's definitely worth it being able to impact everyone, never have to worry about money, do what you want when you want. But the person you become in that time frame is going to be the reason why you're happy. Because a lot of people say that, like, you know, money doesn't bring happiness. It might not, but the person you become to make money brings you happiness, in my opinion. But yeah, like, what's your thoughts on like the entrepreneurship journey, like kind of how you found it? If you think it's hard, easy, I don't know.
See, it's tough because it is very hard in the sense of you've got so many setbacks, whether it's you get so involved in the process that your girlfriend leaves you, or you get so involved in the process that your family start asking like what's wrong with you, or you get so involved in the process that you lose X amount and things aren't happening quickly. So it's very hard. But then at the same time, it's like I never really viewed it as like, oh my God, like this is so difficult. Like it was like some of the money that I lost, the people that I lost, like the amount of like the time where it's like I was on my own for like 3 to 6 months because like no one else believed in what I was doing. Like obviously I can look back now and say that was hard, but for me it was almost like comparison, where it's like this isn't that hard compared to me doing what I don't want to do for 40 to 50 years. So it's like, again, like as I said at the start about like victim mentality, it was never a question for me, whereas whether it was trading, whether it was e-com, and like something would go wrong, I'd lose money, or like even like splitting up with my girlfriend, or like my family would say something. It was never like, why are they saying this? Or like, it was literally just like, this is just the price I've got to pay. And people might hear that and say like, you wasn't saying that, but I can tell you, right, like, and this is the best thing, as you say, about content, is like, oh yeah, obviously like the income opportunities is great and the level of impact is great, but the best thing for me is the documentation.
Yeah,
because it's like everything that I say now, I can say, look at my TikTok, I said that 2 years ago. Look at my TikTok, I said that a year and a half ago. And it's like, while I was going through a breakup, while my business was crumbling, I was sat speaking to the camera saying, I'm telling myself that everything's going to work out and this is happening for a reason. So yeah, like it was hard, and it's like there was times where it's like you have to make yourself believe, and it's like you have to be so utterly delusional that everything's going to work out. But I just had this I don't know, I just had this, like, I don't know if like everyone has it, but I just had this weird feeling that everything was going to work out, and I just believed that every day for the last like 3-4 years. And that probably is, like, linking it back to the first question, is like, what's like one of the biggest like shifts? That's one of the biggest mindset shifts, is just assuming that everything's happening for me and everything's gonna work out the way I want it to.
It's almost like delusion. Like
Yeah, it literally is delusion.
Believing in other people's success, that you can do it.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, literally anybody in the world, if they want to achieve it that bad, they'll achieve it. Mm-hmm. But it's just the work ethic and the things you're going to take from people that's going to get you to that position. But yeah, I mean, for you starting out and going into your journey and being able to become the person that you've become, what would you give to yourself, like one piece of advice in a way? So like, let's say for instance, if we go all the way back to when you first started out, the person that you was then, so this might be for people that are watching or for people that are wanting to start out in their journey, one piece of advice that you would give them to basically help them start in their journey out.
Me directly?
Either you or, to yourself, that would also impact other people.
Me directly, I'd say just be a lot more savage, and I think this applies to a lot of people. Be a lot more savage about what you're willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be, because I wasn't savage enough for a very long time about quitting certain habits. I wasn't savage enough about what people I was allowing around me, in terms of I was putting up with friends that was slagging off my business every week because I thought, oh, these are the only friends that I have. I was putting up with a relationship which wasn't serving me because it was the comfort. I was putting up with the bad habits because it was comfort, because it was easy, because it was escapism. So I just like tell myself, just be a lot more savage, that when the moment you start to get that gut feeling that something isn't serving you, that something isn't elevating you to that next level, just cut it off, because otherwise it's wasted time. Because it's like, as much as I can sit there, it's like the last relationship I had was for 5 years, as much as I can sit there and say, oh, there's lessons learned, that's a lot of time wasted. And that was ultimately what led me to making that decision, because I was like, man, this is like half a decade, like we're not living together, we're not talking about marriage, we're not talking about kids. I was like, it's just a lot of wasted time. And obviously it's like there was lessons learned from that. But at the same time, it's like I was having that same conversation with myself for probably about 2.5 years of telling myself this relationship probably isn't for me. But it was choosing comfort that led me to wasting 2.5 years. I could say the exact same thing about smoking weed. Every day I'm telling myself I should probably stop this. Another year goes by, another 2 years go by. Same with drinking, should probably stop this, but I didn't. And it's like, I just wish I'd have been more savage a lot sooner. It's like, imagine I stopped smoking weed like 2 years prior. Yeah. What situation could I be in now? But it's like, for anyone listening to this, where it's like you do have those habits, you have those bad friends around you. It's like, as much as you can view it of, if I'd have quit that 6 months ago, I could be so much further ahead. View it, if you quit it now, where will you be in 6 months? Mm-hmm. Because the difference between you doing everything that you've been doing for the last 2 years, 3 years, in terms of your way of thinking, the people around you, your habits, you doing that for the next 6 months compared to dropping everything and doing what you need to do for 6 months. Like, 6 months is a lot of time. You know, I think one common trait in successful people is they can condense time frames. You know what, most people, it takes them 5 years to achieve, whether that's savings, whether that's experiences. A successful person will get that done in 6 months because of belief system, but also because the skill set's condensed time.
Yeah, no, that's something huge that I want to quickly touch on as well. Just belief system. You said there, like, the main thing was probably comfort, like being comfortable in the position that you was in, which is the majority of people's problem with not being able to elevate, because they're comfortable in the position they're in now. Like, you can get comfortable and caught up in being a job, and I was for a while, for like a good year. I was comfortable making £2,000 a month, and you know, like, working off that, was like, that is my max. When you work off that's your max and not your floor, you're never going to go and achieve it. Like, now I flipped it to, that's my floor, and that's the minimum I'll earn, but my max is 5, 10, 15, 20, going all the way up to, you know, later down the line where I know I will be. Because let's be real, like, the first change of like mindset and like the money that you earn, let's just say like 0 to 10k a month, is probably the hardest bit, because it's the whole shifts of mindset you've got to like change to get to that position. Because 10k a month's a lot of money, it's good money, you can be comfortable on that, but then for other people, they might want to be pushing further, like yourself, pushing like way past that and being able to achieve crazy numbers. But that comes with just scaling. So you've learnt the mindset. You probably still have learned stuff from the 10k to the mark that you're at now, but a lot of things that were, you know, that you learn at the start kind of carry on and flow on all the way to the bigger money, and just changing them like actions you're taking on a daily basis with investments, you know, with the content side of stuff, affiliate. But yeah, like, I'd say with everything that you said about being comfort is pretty bang on, to be honest with you. What would you say is maybe something else that you would like advise the people in that kind of category with belief system, or starting out? Because I feel like what I really want to touch on people starting out their journey, because people don't see the power of it, which it is crazy to me that people can't see the power of making money. But yeah, what would be one other piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out?
I think it's almost like a 2-in-1, where it's like I think people just need to get real clear on what it is that they want to do, whether that is a career path, whether it's a business they want to build, whether it's experience based. I think people just need to get real clear on what they want to do, because it's like if you stopped and asked most people on the street, like, what are your goals? Most people couldn't tell you. Most people have no direction on where they're going. So it's like, I'm guessing your main demographic is probably young lads, right? Yeah. So it's like for most young lads, it's like, in my opinion, the best thing you can do right now is like not to go down the whole like fluff side in terms of like manifestation, like as much as I do believe in that, but like just to start visualizing the life that you want to live. And then it's about finding a vehicle to do it. But it's like the GPS analogy. It's like if right now I set a GPS to, for example, we're going for food in Manchester. Let's say we're going to Nando's in Manchester. The GPS is going to take us right there because we know where we're going and we know how we're going to get there. But it's like you take the GPS away, then that's like in practice, that's your goals, and that's your guidance system. And it's like, then let's say you start following road signs, it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to get there. Let's say you just close your eyes and guess, you're never getting there. And it's like, it's why you need to have goals, and it's why you need to have the vehicle to take you there, because otherwise you're going to end up in the complete wrong destination. And that's why people have these midlife crises. It's why people get to 30 to 40 and all of a sudden think like, where the fuck has all the time gone? It's like, I know people now, like I'm 23 and a lot of my mates are 23, 24, just coming out of university, and they have no idea where their life's going, because all they've done is gone with the crowd their entire life. They've done what everyone else has told them to do, and now they're in a situation where it's like, fuck, like I'm an adult now, like I've got bills to pay, I've got trips that I want to go on, I've got weddings that I need to go to, I've got people that I want to see, and it's like all that costs money. And it's like now they're in a situation that they didn't want to be in, purely because they had no idea where they wanted to go. So I've been telling people, get real clear about where it is that you want to go, and then find a winning system that's going to take you there. Everyone has this idea of like, oh, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, which is true to an extent. But it's like at the same time, it's like for me, other than affiliate marketing, I've not done anything passion based for the last 4 or 5 years. All I cared about was what works, what is a cash cow in a way, what's a cash grab for me to make the amount of money to allow me to then go and do the things that I want to do. Like my passion project as a kid was never, I want to work this job. It was, I want to drive these cars, I want to live in these places, I want to travel like this. And that's what money allowed me to do. And it's like now I'm in a situation where it's like this year I'm wanting to launch my own, I'm not going to say exactly what, but I'm launching my own businesses, which is my passion project, because now money doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's like, if that doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Whereas a lot of people who get tied up in starting, like the first business they'll start is their passion project with no experience, no capital. And it's like, then you're ruining almost like your one shot at your like dream business idea. So I'd be saying, just get clear on what it is that you want to do, find a system that's going to get you paid to be able to do it, and then later down the line you can always focus on other things. Yeah,
I feel like no one really has like a dream job in a way. I never had a dream job. I didn't want to be working a job, that's why, because I wanted the lifestyle and to be able to be doing what I want when I want. I guess that comes with being an entrepreneur. But the other side to it is that you're, I guess, never not working. Obviously you can take time off whenever you want if you need to, but especially for me, being in that phase of almost the grind phase and always working, it's like 24/7 responding to people, 24/7 I'm working, like other than when I'm asleep, I'm pretty much always working. But I love it, and I can do it anywhere in the world, whenever I want. That for me is like, in a way, success. And I kind of want to touch on success and your like opinion on it, because to me, like, success is, obviously there's the definition that success is the progressive realization of the worthy ideal, which literally means if you're working towards a certain goal, you are successful. If day in, day out, you're working towards something, you can be classed as successful. And I've been doing that since day one. Like, I knew my goals. I've achieved most of my goals I set out from day one, and now I set new goals, because I could easily get comfortable where I am right now. You could easily get comfortable where you are right now. But the reason why in my opinion, we don't do that is because you would probably lose your touch. Like you would get bored if you never have anything to work towards. That's why you're not successful, because you're just going to be bored, stuck in that same situation. But I mean, what's your thoughts or opinions on success? Like what you think it is, and like I guess like your true success to yourself.
I think the brilliant thing about success is that it's personal to everyone. You know, like one person could look at me and say I'm super successful, another person could look at me and say I'm broke because of how I live. But that doesn't matter, because I'm living what success is to me. And it's like you say there, in terms of work, like progressive realisation of a worthy ideal, that is all it is. That is all success is. But the reality is, it's like, I think what most people think they initially want isn't what true success is. Like, as I said before, like for me, success at the start was trying to prove everyone else wrong. But it's like that was living for other people. That wasn't living for myself. That wasn't doing what I truly wanted to do. It was just trying to rub people's faces in it. Where it's like now, it's like, for me, success to me is my life now, in terms of being able to wake up wherever I want, whether it's in the UK or if it's in another country, knowing that I can go and eat wherever I want to eat, hit the gym when I want to hit the gym, switch up to another country if I want to, like just being able to do everything that I want to do and have a great time in the process, help a lot of people in the process, and more so like know that my family's good.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like, obviously like right now, if you're any age really, but especially if you're middle aged, if you're a parent, if you've got kids to look after, if you've got a mortgage, if you've got all these bills, reality is you're probably living in credit. Like you're probably having to get loans, overdraft, credit cards just to be able to get by every month. Like the middle class right now is in the process of being abolished. And it's like, so for me to take pressure off of my family in that sense, in terms of knowing that my dad doesn't have to worry about can he pay his water bill this month or can he pay his electric bill this month, that's success to me. But from a selfish perspective, it's knowing that I can do whatever the fuck I want to do every single day.
That's it. I mean, like you said, everyone's is different, but mine's pretty similar. I feel like it's most people that we hang around with are going to be pretty similar. It's the lifestyle. Like you always work towards a lifestyle that when you achieve it, you're probably then looking at other things. Because I remember we had a conversation about it before, and you were saying that you always work towards a lifestyle, and then you wasn't helping the people that you wanted to be helping, or you maybe didn't think you needed to. I don't know, but yeah, you can touch on that. But then you went and found out that that was your true meaning of success. Because sometimes people don't know what's like their true meaning of success is right now. You might find it out in the transition, because I always knew that I wanted to help my family, because which it's crazy, but like I grew up like a good family. I never had to worry about anything, but that was just because my mum and dad like allowed me to not worry.
Yeah.
Whereas they were struggling. But then I started to grow up older and started to realise they actually were struggling, which when they both got like great jobs, so they both like earn good money for a job, and they're still struggling. And I was like, that's not right. Like if I'm going to be working towards a good job, like that's the highest I can go, and I'm still going to struggle. And then you've got people out here that are doing crazy numbers from their phone or from whatever the business they're in. I don't want to be living that life. I want to be able to change that for my family and my bloodline, because it goes on for generations. Honestly, one person like makes a decision, and the future of your family could be completely different. It could change, and when you really deep it in that way, that's what gets me excited. That's what gets me wanting to work hard day in day out. When I'm at a low point, I'll think about that, and I'm like, I'm doing this for other people, because you don't rely on yourself. Whenever, like, let's say you go to the gym in the morning and you're going by yourself, you're more likely to not go if you went by yourself or rather than going with a friend. So like, let's say for instance you said to me, let's go gym tomorrow. Yeah. I'm gonna more likely go to
let me down.
A lot to let you down, but then I'd let myself down more than that. So I feel like the why, or your why in general, is good to have it as other people that you love or want to do better for, because then you will never stop working in a way. You can never quit.
Yeah, I think it grounds you as well. Like when you're doing something with a purpose, like especially within trading, it's very easy. Like, and just investing in general, it's very easy to be stupid, to be short-sighted. Whereas if it's almost like other people's money on the line, as much as like it's not their money, but it's like it can potentially be their money, your decisions are different, because it's like there's one thing to play around with your own money, but then when you play around with like your future generations, your family's money, it's almost like, I don't know, I think it grounds you, I think it humbles you, and I think it wakes you up to like you're just being a fucking idiot really, and there's no need to be doing that.
Yeah. You don't want to put too much pressure on it as well as it is like that. Like you shouldn't, at the end of the day, like to go into trading really quick, you should not be making these stupid decisions, because there's still people that are well into their journey that are trying to rush that success because they've not done the amount of work they should have done in the 1, 2, 3 years they've been here, and then trying to rush it. That's not, like, at the end of the day, you're still at square one, or that like ego is holding you back from achieving it because you think, because you've been here. It's like a job. Like if you go to work, you're going to get paid no matter what, but in here, if you don't put the work in, you don't get paid. And you don't elevate, you don't grow if you don't put the work in. Delayed gratification in its finest is literally, I truly believe in it now. I didn't believe in it at the start at all. I just kind of worked because I thought, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I'm just going to do it. And then I put the work in, didn't really see results for like probably 6 months, like good results, 6 to 8 months. And then like literally within a week, everything switched up. Same thing that happened to me last week when I had my biggest week inside the space. The week before, I made like, I lost money the week before, and then the week after, I made the most amount of money I've ever made in my life. Which, it's crazy. Like, I mean, Liam Swales, who the previous podcast was with, he mentioned it to me before, like, we're in the entrepreneurship space. You don't know when you're going to get paid, but when you get paid, you're going to get paid big. Like, a lot of people do truly look at it like that. Obviously, you can get paid on a daily basis, but it might not be as big as some days. Like, some days you could make crazy amounts of money, some days you might just be, your floor.
No, I think what you say there, though, especially about at the start, in terms of people work a job and they get paid, I think this is a tough thing, man. It's like, obviously, like, as you said at the start, I've worked with like over 1,000 people now, and I've worked with people that come from the exact same place that I started, where but let's say they're in uni, they're in the 9 to 5, trying to balance that alongside quitting. And then I've also worked with people that are already running successful businesses, then transitioning into trading, into affiliate marketing. And it's always quicker for people with previous experience to pick up, because they've already learned the key mindset shifts. And I think the main one is what you said there about people go from working, and they can show up to work with 20% effort, 20% work rate, and still get paid 100% wage. And then they'll show up to these digital industries where you can be your own boss. And it's like, it's a funny term, like be your own boss, because it's like, for some people, they'll be the best boss they've ever had. But then it's like, that's why their business isn't moving. Because every day they wake up when they want to work, when they wake up when they want to, they run calls when they want to. And it's funny because it's like, most people have more respect for the boss than they do themselves. And it's like, most people, the boss will tell them, wake up at this time, go on holiday this time of the year, they'll do it. But then when it comes to themselves, of tonight I'm going to start this business, tonight I'm going to meet with my friends and chat about these ideas, it's like, nah, we'll do it at a different time. But then as well, like what you're saying about, within running business, you get like the one big payday. That to me is just exponential growth. Everyone views growth as linear, where it's like month on month you're getting, it's like this term of like 1% better every day. I think it's a load of bullshit, really, because as much as you can put yourself in the gym and you can take these actions where it's like technically you are getting 1% better every day, on a results perspective, there's going to be days where it's like you go into the gym every day, but then one day you're lifting less. Like there's just those days, isn't it, where like you're not lifting as much as you used to, you have a bad day at the gym. I don't know, like things happen. But for me, what growth really looks like is years of ups, downs, consolidation, like moving sideways, rock bottom, new high, rock bottom, to then all day, bang, one day, exponential growth. And it's like with content, you can look at that. You post every day for 2 years on TikTok, getting 300 views, 500 views. One video does 1 million views. Same with business, you're losing money for a year, 2 years, bang, 1 month you make 10k in a month. And then it's like everyone looks at you like, wow, how have you done that? Like, how have you shifted so quick? But it's like the iceberg, innit? Like the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg is that achievement of that month's success, of that new weight in the gym, that new viewership in content. Then under the iceberg, what they don't see is the 2 years of posting every day, of hitting the gym every day, of working every day. And that's why most people don't get to where they want to be.
Exactly. Like that's where people don't want to put the work in. They want the results straight away.
Yeah.
Like you can't come into an industry where you're going to make crazy amounts of money in your lifetime and come in with it and be like, if I don't make profits in the first month, I'm quitting. because I've had that so much where people will come in their first week or even a couple of days, they'll be like, this isn't for me. It's like, how is this not for you?
That isn't for them.
Well,
that isn't for them.
it
Like
is
in my
true.
opinion, bro, like I used to think that anyone could do this.
Yeah.
Like I'd literally be on the phone trying to persuade every man and his dog, you can do this, bro. And what I've realised over the last couple of years, working with thousands of people and also working through thousands of people to help their people, is this isn't for everyone. You've got to be a very specific type of person, as you say, in terms of you're the kind of person where it's like you work relentlessly. You've got that work rate instilled within you. I think some people just don't have that. It don't matter how much visualization they do. I think it don't matter what the reason why is. Like some people, bro, are in crippling debt. They're in the worst shape possible. They're smoking, they drink, they're doing everything wrong. And they're still not at rock bottom enough to think, I need to make a change.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, I look at them and think, like, what are you ever going to do? Like, how bad, like, how low does your life need to get for you to wake up? Because some people are at rock bottom and they don't even realise it.
It's true. It's true. It's crazy, isn't it? Like how people are so comfortable in that position.
It's mad.
Because it's like,
mad.
I mean, obviously we've got a different perspective on life, on business, on money. But not to say that, like, well, I am saying it, our vision and our perspective on money and life is better. Would you rather be like, I mean, look at you, for example. Everyone always says you're the happiest guy that anyone knows. But that's just because of, probably, I'm guessing, the person you've become and what your daily actions, like going to the gym, eating good food, making good money. It's like, how can you not be happy? Like,
Well, yeah.
when you make, like that day where I had that amount of money come into my account and I'm like, I was so gassed. I want that feeling. Like you're getting that amount of money every single day, more or less. And that feeling, I want to chase that feeling because I don't, the money's great, but that feeling of complete freedom, can do whatever you want when you want. That's what I am chasing. I feel like it's an unreal like feeling to have.
Now, I like what you say there in terms of like chasing the feeling. Because, I mean, it is a dangerous game in a way. Because ultimately, you're all going to have to chase it to further highs. You know, it's almost like an addiction. Where it's like, you smoke weed one day, the next day it's not going to hit the same. You've got to smoke more to achieve the same level of high. And I think it's the exact same with that. But then I think it's a good thing in a way where it's like, I remember like over Christmas, obviously I had like a big month in December, like a record month. And like I was in Dubai and I didn't see my family for Christmas, so coming back, went through like Dubai and Qatar airports, which were really nice. And I went through, you know, like Louis Vuitton, Dior, like Moncler, and I bought like my family some like really great gifts. And I remember like sitting there thinking like, I'd love to be able to do this all the time. Like I don't mean like in terms of like the materialistic, like the logos. I mean more so just being able to spend without looking at the price tag all the time for the people that I love. You know, it's like I didn't even get anything for Christmas this year and I didn't care because I cared more about the fact that I'm giving them gifts that I used to. Like, I remember like even like when I was like 19, 20, I weren't making good money. I'd always spend a lot on my family. You know, I'd always like probably spend like too much, like make myself broke for like 2-3 months just for the sake of Christmas gifts. But it's like, again, like in terms of chase the feeling, I was sat there being like, I need to make this level of money every single month so I can do this whenever I want. It's not a case of like, oh, this is just a treat for a good month. I want to be able to do this all the time. And it's like, it sets a standard, bro. It's like the same as, like, you use a saying in terms of like the ceiling becomes the new floor. You know, it's the same as you travel business class for the first time. You know, it's like, let's say, for example, right now, like, you're free, you're not working, you're making money from your phone. Let's say right now you got placed at Asda on like till number 1 at Asda for a week. How would you feel?
Shit.
You'd feel fucking shit. And then it's like, imagine the week after you go back to what you're doing now, you'd be so grateful for what you have. And it's like, imagine then again, like you fly business class and then the flight home, you fly economy. You're like, fucking hell, this is shit. So it's like experiencing those highs and those goals, even if it's just for a short period of time. You know, even if it's just like you have one fluke good month, but it gives you a taste of what's possible. I think that really builds your belief system.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that literally felt like last month when I quit my job. Had like 2 weeks where I was making good, like, you know, like good enough money to stay full time. And then I had 2 weeks over Christmas, which is such a bad period for it to go through as well. And I just was losing. And then once you get in a losing like state, I feel like with trading, it kind of just keeps on going until you just say, okay, I'm done for like a couple of days, whatever it is, take a break, take some time off to reset. And I was like, shit, am I going to have to go back to work? Well, to be honest with you, that was actually, I'll be honest, that was never a thought, but I had a conversation with one of my good friends and he was like, you know, are you going to look at getting into work? Like, you probably need to, you know, we've got Marbella, we've got Rome, we've got Frankfurt, Thailand coming up, all these different places. I'm like, nah, I'm not going back to work. Like, I don't want to go back to work. I'm not doing that because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be in that feeling. Whereas the mindset I gained from going full time, from always being my own boss in a way, I just felt like I was always happy and always growing, and I didn't wake up with like that sad feeling of going to work or whatever the feeling is. Everyone wakes up with it that work's a job. It's like you wake up and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work today. But you have to. You've got no choice. I don't want to do that. So I was like, I'm going to make this work. So that made me put more work in, find ways. There's always ways to make money and whatever it is. So I found a way. It worked. And a week later, I'm now like, feel like I'll never have to go to work ever again. I just know it. I know I'll never have to go back to work. And when you're so confident and you speak things into existence, and that manifestation really comes into play, because I said to myself at the start, the first week of this month, I set a goal for myself for in the first quarter to make a certain amount in a month, and them 2 weeks I was losing. I was like, I'm never gonna hit that this month. And then the week after I hit it, it's like, it is, if you set goals and work towards them, I feel like you're just always going to achieve them if you don't put a time frame on it, because I guess time frames can be, kind of setting you back a bit. If you believe you're going to achieve it, then don't achieve it. It's like that can maybe like put your confidence down a level. But set a goal, go and achieve it, like in however long it takes, and you're always going to be able to go and do it. Like whatever it takes. If you've got that mindset, you're going to be sound and achieve it really.
Yeah, and I think in terms of what you said, like we had a conversation like when you first like left work, and I remember we were saying like in terms of like it comes down to personality type, because you got the saying like pressure creates diamonds. Then it's like it depends what you're putting under the pressure. It's like if you put a cookie under a fucking pressure machine, it's going to crumble. Yeah. And it's like some people that have been in your situation and having this like doubt and this like lack of clarity about this going to work, that have crumbled and they'd have just reapplied to another job and so I'm just going to get another job, like for that safety blanket. But like, I think whether it's losing, whether it's like quitting work, whether it's spending too much in a month, whether it's pressure from peers, I think if you're the right kind of person, that pressure will push you to go on. So like, I remember when I got my car at the start, it's like I just started making maybe like 8-9k a month, and it's like my car, like it's like maybe like a 60k car, and I remember at the time viewing that thinking, I'm probably getting this too soon. Like I was 19 at the time, buying a Porsche. Like I was too young to even test drive it. I remember the guy took me out on a test drive and he had to drive it, and I was sat in passenger seat, like, yeah, pretty decent this, mate. So that shows like how young I was. But then buying that at that age, it was like, I've got to make more money now, because I've got the liabilities of this every month. I've got maintenance, which Porsche maintenance is a fucking joke. Insurance, petrol. Obviously, I'm driving it more because it's a nice car. So I was like, I've got these additional costs now. And that for me was pressure. Obviously, I could afford it, but still it was pressure that I'd never had before, from being someone that like grew up, still living at home, living like a pretty low cost life. And it's like same again, like last year when I moved out and I was spending like 2k a month on rent. More pressure. I've got that, my car, I've got members of staff, I've got agencies I'm working with. I've got this pressure of there's other people relying on me getting paid, as well as myself. So I think that pressure can be good.
Hold you to work, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
you can get so, for you, I mean, the way I look at it, the way a lot of people can probably look at it, it's like, why is he still working? Yeah. He's got money, he could probably retire like within the next year or two. If you actually wanted to, you could live off that, off like a 20, 30k a year, whatever it is. Yeah. You could retire and be sound. But it's that work, I feel like you have to keep having something to work towards. Again, success, the definition of it. It's that working towards something that's going to allow you to, get the job done. The pressure of you having to, that you having to feel that pressure was what it had to take for you to go and push that next level. Because like you said, you were making that money, and then you was probably living a pretty similar lifestyle, doing these things. Like, I remember you said to me before, I was debating on going travelling when I was going to be going travelling next month, and kind of switched it up a bit, but I was going to be going to Bali, and I was like, I can't really afford it. I couldn't afford it at the time anyway. And you was like, just do it. Like, even though I wasn't going to go broke, but like, you can't fully afford it or whatever you class as affording it. You was like, just do it. For the experience, to then know how it feels to be in that position. Mm-hmm. Go there, get a cheap villa, but like at one weekend, go and get like a fucking expensive villa, live in it, live a high lifestyle for a couple of days, and see how it feels. See if that's something you want, because if you haven't ever felt it, how can you say you don't want it? Which is crazy, because a lot of people will say, I don't want to live that lifestyle. You've never even had a feeling of what it's like, so how can you just chuck an opinion on it straight off the bat? Like, it doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
Mate, in my opinion, it's a lot of shit when people say things like that. Like, people act like it's a flex to say like they're not materialistic, or they don't care about like the finer things in life. And obviously not everyone's materialistically driven, but it's like you'll see how like people like going to nice restaurants where like the waiters are really nice, it's really fancy inside, the food's really good. People like that. So it's like, it's the exact same for, you put someone in a 200k Rolls Royce, for example, a nice Bentley Bentayga, they're going to sit in that, they're going to feel good. You know, it's not about like what everyone else is looking at you where you look good. No, it's about the fact that when you are sat in that position, you feel good. When you're sat in business class, you feel better than when you're sat in economy. When you're sat in a Bentley, you feel better than when you're sat in a Clio. When you're sat at Tattoo or Nobu, you feel better than when you're sat at Spoons. You know, it's like, so maybe some people don't care. Some people, and I'm not saying, if I sit in a cheap restaurant, I'm fucking slagging it off and I fucking hate it. Nah, but I'm saying, realistically, where are you going to feel better? Where are you going to feel more confident?
100%. I mean, we went to Tattoo, and that video we recorded previously, that was the first ever experience for me. I could not afford that, by the way, when we was going, like, and that just shows you the kind of change and how quickly it's changed, because that was like a month or two ago.
But you can eat there every day now.
Well, we can eat there. maybe not every day, but yeah. But like that feeling, I wanted to chase that feeling again, because it was so good. Like the service you get is next level in all these restaurants. I remember we were in Monaco, we went for the event that we had for the previous company we was in. That feeling of being in Nobu was not as good because of the people I was there with. So that no one could afford it. Everyone was trying to scrimp out on it. Everyone was trying to like not, get that feeling, like really take it and, experience it. And I was like, this is, I'm trying to like go on Nobu and spend like 30, 40 quid. It's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So, well, that get you one bowl of fucking peas.
With 4 pieces of sushi.
Yeah, decent that.
But then when we went Tattoo, went and just experienced it in like for what it was. And it was the best experience I've ever been, like, for food wise. I know, like, at the end of the day, I kind of started looking at money like, what is it? Like, why am I working towards a number on a screen to then decide what I can do? Like, obviously that's going to help me to live a better lifestyle, but then also when I've got money, why do I care about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like spending that bit of money on doing an experience that's real life. Because we could go deep with it and be like, everybody in the world works towards something that's not even real, but obviously you have to, because that's going to allow you to experience things. If you're just working for money because you like money, or like the feeling of having money, what's the point in that? It's the things that come with it.
I think that's a trap that a lot of traders and investors, mainly like Forex guys, crypto guys especially, but then also as well probably be like ecom guys as well, where it's like you're looking at so many numbers on a screen and you're seeing it fluctuate, especially like crypto. It's fluctuating 20% one day, negative 50% the next day. Same with trading. If you're an aggressive trader, your trading account's moving fast, it's decreasing fast, and I think it causes people to lose the real value of money. And like that is a good and a bad thing, because that is something that I like massively accelerated my relationship with money, of becoming so like numb to it and like detached from it. Like that's great, because now I can lose sums of money, I can make sums of money without feeling a certain type of way, which removes like a ceiling off myself. But then at the same time, it's like you lose that value where all you care about is a bigger number on your screen. So then it's like, if it's a conversation of, should I spend this much on a dinner? No, but should I put that much on a trade? And it's like, I don't know if you've ever been there, but I've been there plenty of times where it's like, I look at a holiday, for example, or some big purchase, and I'm like, not sure. And then I'll go and lose it the next day trading.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, that's game over, I've lost that sum of money trading, but it's like, it does change your view of money, because I feel like you become so obsessed with reinvesting into your trading account, reinvesting into crypto, that you almost sometimes feel guilty for buying the things you want to buy, but as you say, that's life, experiencing dinners like that, traveling with the boys. It's like, I think with things like that, like you're never really going to regret the payment as much as like when you're in there, you might be like looking, thinking, oh, this is expensive. The way I've always viewed it from the moment I got like my first like nice car to spending, you know, like 20, 30k on holidays, like to like this big extent. But that journey has taught me that money comes and goes, you know,
100%.
and I think that's a big programming from school, from what we hear on the media, from parents, that we all try and be in control of money when instead we need to be in flow with money, where it's like money flows through us abundantly and whatever we spend is going to come back to us later down the line, so there's no point worrying about it.
100%. That's one like saying. I remember seeing that on your whiteboard because we came up to your house for a little retreat that we did where you previously lived, and I saw it in your whiteboard saying that money flows through me, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy on about? Money flows through you. I was like, that's a weird way of thinking, and I don't even think I asked you what it meant, but then I remember you said it on a call, and I was like, oh, that's what it means, like abundance towards money, and that, like, you know, money flows through you. In a way, I guess it is what it's saying. It's like you don't have to work for money; the money works for you, kind of, in that way.
Yeah, it's like I am attracting money.
Yeah, and that mindset towards it is going to allow you to make way more than you would ever have imagined before. But yeah, like last kind of thing I wanted to go over with working on yourself that we haven't really touched on is the personal development side. Like, that's something I've touched on a lot more recently, something I want to go like fully in with, and I've already been doing, but I know you are quite big on your like audio books and like kind of learning from other people's either mistakes or, you know, good decisions in a way. I feel like that can definitely help people. What would you say is like one book in particular, or one kind of quote from a book that kind of changed your perspective in the way that you think towards what you do?
It's hard to give one book. I think I'm going to give 3 books.
Okay.
I'm going to say Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, and then Asking It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. Now, the first book I read was Think and Grow Rich, and one thing that I've learned through like mentorship and through networking is that success leaves clues, and there's no such thing as coincidences. And it's not a coincidence that majority of people making multiple 6 figures a year, like they're living the life that most people want to live, a lot of them recommend that book. And that was the first book I read, and all I'd say to most people is that is quite a tough read, in my opinion, if like that's your first book going into it. But that, Outwitting the Devil's brilliant book. Asking It Is Given, I think a lot of people sleep on what Asking It Is Given teaches in terms of the spiritual side of success, about law of vibrations, law of attraction, law of assumption. You know, it's all about like manifestation. And I think like when you're saying like one quote, I think the main thing from like everything almost like combined is that you'll never out-earn your own level of self-development. And, you know, it's why 70% of lottery winners are broke in 5 years. It's why so many Hollywood actors, actresses, singers turn to drugs, to suicide, because they start making sums of money where they have audience sizes that they're not mentally ready for. And it's like, for example, if you're making 20k a year, all of a sudden you win 30 mil on the lottery, you've still got the spending habits, you've still got the relationship with money as that version of yourself from a day ago before you won the lottery. And it's the exact same in business, where it's like, if you're right now making 2k a month, 3k a month, you're aiming for 10k a month, 20k a month, 50k a month, whatever the number is, instead of chasing the money, chase the version of you that deserves the money. And for me, like, when you can speak about delayed gratification, you can speak about personal development, trust in the process, like whatever term you want to throw around for it. For me, that was the case of being so delusional that if I just keep working on myself, my way of thinking, my network, the results are eventually going to match up. You know, and it's like I say now, in terms of being in flow with money and attracting money, it's because I have become a person of value that can attract money. Like, you can't just wake up tomorrow and say, I attract money, if you're in the wrong environment, you know. So, and the thing is, when it comes to like reading books, listening to books, a lot of people have a limiting belief that they're not smart enough, or they don't like doing it, or they can't do it. And it's like, most people never read a book past the age of 16. But it's like, again, another quote that I love is, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. You know, it's like you've got these books, like another one's Atomic Habits. They're literally a cheat code and a roadmap. Atomic Habits, a cheat code to overcoming those habits that are keeping you where you are. Think and Grow Rich, a cheat code to building desire, to realizing what the most successful people from that generation were doing for you to implement. It's literally like everyone's looking for the shortcut, and people in trading think the shortcut is over leveraging, it's buying a funded account. It's like the only shortcut is mentorship, and whether that's paying a mentor online, or it's watching YouTube videos, whether it's reading a book, whether it's buying a course, that is the only shortcut that is going to accelerate you where you are right now to where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Personal development's huge. Like I personally love it because that like the quote you said, like 1% better. It's like you kind of are, but you're not. With personal development, you are. I would say if you're reading a book day in day out, you're learning something from that book. Whether it's one quote, a whole chapter, like a phrase, they kind of like trying to portray to you. But at the end of the day, like reading that book, listening to that audio, one thing that one audio and one book that changed my mind is Atomic Habits, and I read that pretty recently. Great book. It just kind of obviously going about over how to change your daily actions to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Trying to like break it down. It's all about breaking things down. What do you do? Like write out every single move you make in a day. I wake up, I get out of bed, I go on my phone. Like for most people, it's you wake up, you go on your phone for half an hour scrolling TikTok, realise that you've just passed half an hour, you're now late for work, and you need to be rushing, getting in the shower, rushing to get to work or whatever situation you're in if you're an entrepreneur already, not rushing and just kind of relaxing, chilling. That in itself is going to hold you back because them hours are just being wasted with just like the wrong content being put through your brain. It's like one thing I changed because I was doing that, and like don't get me wrong, sometimes I get caught up in waking up and going on my phone, and like I've really been trying to focus on it recently, getting up and putting an audio on straight away. Like the first thing I do is get out of bed and put an audio on my laptop full blast or whatever I'm doing in the morning, that's in the background and I'm listening to it. It's like reprogramming my subconscious mind, because like your thoughts, like most of your best thoughts are going to be made without you actually thinking. It's going to be made when your subconscious brain or your brain is working to then generate a new thought. But then when you actually think about certain thing, that thought pops to mind. Like looking at it that way, really trying to really really trying to like put that work into personal development. Whether it's an audio, whether it's even gym. Like we went gym before this, and you feel good. Like little things like that. Sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you might go to the gym, come back, feel bad. But the majority of the time, if not every single time, you're going to feel good. So if you can make your body, your health, your brain feel good and work, because education, working on everything is always going to be better, I'd say.
But in terms of like what you say about reprogramming your brain, you need to reprogram the way that you think, or someone else will do it for you. And that's done either through school, through parents, through social media, through BBC News. It's like you could go on Twitter right now and you could form 10 new opinions based off what 10 other people said. And I think it's Earl Nightingale says like the problem with most men like in today's world is they just don't think for themselves. And to take that ability to understand and be aware that majority of what you've been taught has been done for a reason. I don't want to go down like the rabbit hole of like, escape the matrix, but it is true in a way where it's like we've all been taught to think in a certain type of way, to not take risks, to be afraid of failure, to not try and meet new people, and you need to get out of that mindset. And for me, I think the best way to reprogram that is through successful people, in terms of chatting to people that are where you want to be, and then reading from people that are no longer here, from 1900s, 1950s. Like, that's real personal development. Like we've got a mentor like Dan, and he just says it how it is really. And it's like nowadays a lot of people think they're successful, think they're an entrepreneur because they can regurgitate one piece of information they've read from a book. And majority of modern day personal development is all fluff. It's all about motivation. It's all, I don't know, but it's like the real value is in books like Think and Grow Rich. And it's timeless value as well, because it's like that goes to show how good the book is, that principles from like the 1900s are still apply today. And it's like, especially Outwitting the Devil, where he's talking about porn, he's talking about cigarettes back then when it wasn't that big, to how it's like portrayed on the world now. They're two of the biggest factors in the world, especially for men. It's like lust in porn, and then like nicotine in like smoking. It's like those are two things that keep a lot of people where they are. Outwitting the Devil's such a great book for it, because it just
100%.
says like how the devil is everywhere and no one even realizes it.
Yeah, it's like so portrayed in nowadays by these big institutions, governments that are going to make so much money off it. Porn, for example, the amount of money that industry makes.
Yeah, look at
through now
OnlyFans girls. Like, look at OnlyFans girls.
Like they're just, but people are losing their values, like their morals in what they believed in for money, which is like I can never imagine myself doing it. Obviously, like, you know, I'm not throwing shade at people that do that. Whatever you want, you know, do whatever you want to do. I just wouldn't want to be surrounded by someone who would do anything for money. And like you said, surroundings is huge. Like, surround yourself with people that you want to be. Surround yourself with people that have the same morals as you. Like, them things need to be a priority, because a lot of people will get caught up in, like, you know, I've got a couple of friends like outside of this space that make good money in industries, but they're just like, I don't know, they're just chasing that feeling of just being gassed, because everybody's like, oh yeah, make money, and then they'll go and smoke weed, they'll go and out drinking, spend 5k in a club and do these things so often. It's like, why would I want to? Because you're successful because money's easy to be made nowadays. Like OnlyFans, for an example, so easy, such an easy industry to go into if you know people or whatever. If you get mentorship still, but I don't want to be surrounded by people that are in that industry. In my opinion, there's a few people that have good morals and they go into it. I don't know. I couldn't really imagine it. Or that, I don't know. What's your thoughts on the whole space?
I'll drop a personal story. So there was actually a girl that I was chatting to. That did that, and initially I didn't know she did that, and then once I found out, it was a bit like. Like literally, that was like my sort of like initial reaction, really.
Ruin the next meet with her now, you're not. You'll go to meet her again.
Yeah, I don't want to meet her again. But it's like she makes good money through that, and I had zero respect for it. Like, I entertained the conversation a couple times, you know, a couple dates, and I just came to the realization, I don't give a fuck. You could be making $1 million a month, but you're selling yourself. Literally. Like you're selling yourself. Like, I hate to throw shade, but that industry deserves shade, because there's a million ways to make money online nowadays for you to not have to post pictures like that online. And it's like, that stays with you forever. And it's like, one thing that was going through my mind at a date was, and for me it's like, yeah, I have fun, you know, like when I'm traveling, like I meet girls, whatnot. But when it comes to like dating, I'm dating to marry in a way. Like, yeah. I don't want to waste, as I said like before about wasting 5 years, I'm not about to waste another 5 years with the wrong person. Like, the next person I settle down with, I very much see that. And it's like, for me, I was sat at that date being like, why am I here? Because I'm not going to marry this girl, because my future kids are going to have to live with the fact that her mum does this, or my whole family are going to have to know that the person I've married does this. And it's like, yeah, you can make however much money you want to make, but people are always going to view you in that light. And as savage as it is, I think you deserve it.
Yeah, especially for the position we know we're going to be in, or whatever the positions even we're in now. Like, as a high valued person in whatever it is, in an industry, making money, that you're classed as a high value man, you know, you come across, you can speak, you can, you know, help people, you've got like come along the journey, you're disciplined, these things that I would say is like what would make a man high value. Mm-hmm. Why would then we drop our standards to somebody who completely throws their morals and beliefs out of the window? Like, even, I mean, yeah, I've never ever been interested in that type of person, unless it, not for the long run anyway. Like, a quick little, you know what I mean? But yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean.
Can you clarify what you mean?
We're not going to explain what I mean. I don't even know what I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but no, like that is the biggest decision of your life. In terms of the person that you settle down with, it's a reflection of yourself. You know, in terms of their values, how they treat people, it's a reflection of you. You know, and obviously it's like, that's the person you're going to spend the most amount of time with. You know, you've probably seen the graph in terms of how we spend our time in terms of percentage with family at what age. And then it's like, the reality is for 70% of your life, it is with that person you choose to settle down with. Yeah. So it's like, you've got to be spot on. And I think a hell of a lot of people, as I said, like I settled, in terms of I settled in my last relationship out of comfort. I think a lot of people settle on the biggest decision of the latter. I'm not saying, oh, split up with your bird, you know, like split up with your partner. Like, I hope people don't get that interpretation, but the reality is a lot of people are, because they're afraid of heartbreak, they're afraid of being on their own, they're afraid they might be on their own and find someone that's not as attractive as the person they're currently with. And it's like people will settle, and it's like that's the reality is, it's like that is the biggest decision of your life, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're 30, 40 regretting it, because then reality is it's too late. You're no longer as fit as you used to be. Obviously for men it's different, because we're just going to get more valuable, we're going to build up like more capital, have more experiences, more to offer. The reality is you'll get to an age where it's like you can't then go and find the ideal woman you want to find.
I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day we know where we're going to be. Money's not going to be a problem, so going to, I mean, I don't know if many, there probably is men out there, you know, that think like that. I'm going to go marry some bird who does OnlyFans because she's rich. Like, I mean, there is guys on TikTok, whatever it is, that actually do that, which is crazy. But I'm not saying that the woman can't be like the breadwinner or whatever it is, but I feel like in that way, you should not be chasing it. And for us, we know where we're going to be, we know where we are. There's no reason at all, like, to drop to them levels. So, I mean,
I think if you're a guy, you can't be chasing women because they've got bread.
No.
Like, I understand it from a girl's perspective, because like that is a signal of a success. That's part of a man's value.
Yeah.
But as a guy, I think you've got to have the lowest scale of testosterone to be chasing women with money.
Yeah, facts.
Maybe that's an unpopular opinion.
It could never be me anyway.
No, it could never be me.
No, we're not dropping to them standards. But yeah, I mean, it's been an unbelievable podcast. I appreciate you for coming on. I don't want to ramble on too much. We could just sit here and talk all day, the value that we can give to people. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you for coming on. And yeah, let's get it, boys. Let's get it.
Sweet.